What's up, everybody? Sky Spider here. We are going to be doing some tarantula feeding tonight. As you can see, things are a little brighter. You can probably see the huge solar flare over here. I finally got some decent lighting. So let's see if this is enough or if I still need to buy a new camera. Hopefully, crossing my fingers pretty hard on this, I don't want to have to buy a camera. Sorry if the audio is a little weird. For some reason, I can't get my mic to work. So I'm running on the mic on my webcam. It should be decent enough, and I'm usually going to be right next to it. But we'll see how this goes. I'm still in the testing phase of all this, and nothing's set in stone, nothing's concrete. I'm not doing this every night yet. So we're just playing around with things, seeing what works. But I am behind on bug feeding for several different reasons. So we have 3 shelves to do today, and one of them is my biggest. So this should be interesting. So first up, I have my Cytala Harita assassin bugs. Unfortunately, my 2 adults have recently passed of old age. Actually, I need to get one out of here. You can see these guys are decent size. They are very messy eaters, so there are isopods living in here to clean up after them. Let's get some water in here, mostly for the isopods. That said, I have seen assassins drink from a water dish. So you definitely should be providing a dish for them. Let that overflow just a little bit. The isopods live underneath that dish. So these guys don't like roaches, but they do love crickets. And yeah, not going to bother counting. Just a ton of isopods in here. And I've got a loose cricket, because of course. That's what cats are for, right? So yeah, you can see them like running all over the place, trying to grab crickets. They're going to fight with each other over these too, which is really neat to watch. Yeah, it looks like I am going to need a new camera still. That is the sucks. Yeah, I've got one I'm looking at on Amazon, but it's 120. That said, it's made for macro work, so that's exactly what I'm using here. So yeah, we'll just keep this a little further away for most of these today, so they stay in focus. Well, mostly in focus anyway. Yeah, it's always fun to watch these guys going crazy over food. So once again, I do have the Twitch chat open on my phone. For some reason, I can't get it to display in the streaming software I use. So yeah, it's not going to be on screen, but I'll still respond to you. But again, I'm still new to doing this, so I don't expect to have many live viewers. This is mostly going to be for the YouTube crowd. Alrighty, good. They're all eating really well. Ooh. I just noticed my very large male Monocentropas balfouri has just molted. I'll see if I can get him on camera, but he's really, really shy and doesn't like light. Okay, I know that just looks like a field of white, but it's a meatball. This is my Chilean rose hair that I use for helping teach little kids about spooters. She is a red-phased rose hair, so the true kind. They're a little harder to come by anymore. Her dish was really gross. Giving it a quick rinse. Probably going to pour a lot of water in the substrate for her. Yeah, there you go, meatball. You got fresh water. She's a really sweet and curious spider. definitely good for working around little kids. Okay, so my other half insisted on all 3 cricket sizes being in separate containers this week. So I don't have anything to throw my roaches in, so a lot of them are going to be getting crickets today. Even though I hate crickets. Oh, this is a smart cricket. It actually saw the web on the ground. Tried to avoid it. There we go. Good girl, Meatball. God damn, she is one pretty spider. Let me get her back on camera here. Yeah, I need a better camera because those pinks that I'm picking up with my actual eyes aren't showing on camera. She's way prettier than she looks here. Oops. I know I said I was going to pour water in her substrate, but yeah, she'll be okay. So this is my male Usambara orange baboon tarantula, Pteraniculus murinus. This is the orange phase, obviously. He is probably 1 molt from being mature, but ever since I got him, he's always thought he was mature and a gigantic spooter that deserved to be feared. Man, you finished off your water dish this week. That never happens. I have a feeling you tipped it over. Okay, let's get another cricket here. Okay, get the crate out of here, make this a little easier on me. Whew. There's that cricket smell. God, I do not like crickets. Seriously, I know these are what every pet store in the country has and around the world, but do yourself a favor. If you can get roaches, get roaches. God, these are putrid. I hate crickets. Let's put it on this side. I can already see him running around the back. He knows something's in here now. See if we can see him come around the back here, back around front. Of course, the cricket's standing still at the moment. There we go, there's some movement. Ooh, some web shaking. Should get a pounce any moment now. Where are you at, you Cheeto-colored bastard? This is the fun part about tarantulas. It's all a waiting game. You see these good videos by Exotic Slayer and Dark Den. They either cut out the feeders that take a while, or they cut for time. Of course, if you're subscribed to my channel, you know I hate editing my videos because it's a giant pain in the ass. So, yeah, we just get to wait over here. Skye Spider fans are patient fans. And I am down with that. Now the question is, how much patience do I have? Because that cricket's refusing to move, so he has no idea it's in there. Okay, if the cricket's not going to move, let's save all of us some time. Okay, looks like my male ball 4-eye has already hidden himself again. We'll get to him in a second here. Next up, I think she was on the last video I tried of this. My tiny little Mexican Redknee. You need a fresh water dish as well. Sorry. Didn't mean to scare you. This is the joy of a lack of coordination. I can't pick things up without spilling everything. If you're new to the channel, I usually make it very clear that I don't have full use of my dominant hand. A surgeon screwed me up very, very badly. And, see, this even picks up on camera. Not really. See if I can get this angle. Let's just turn the damn camera. And you can see that massive scar down my arm. Yeah, we've opened that up 5 times total now, trying to fix what the first surgeon screwed up. Okay, let's get her some food. Go for the smaller crickets that are in my normal roach collection bin. Just waiting for some to get out of here. Yep, there goes one. Oh, one escapee. That'll feed the cats. Good. Nom 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 nom. Makes up for the last one taking a while, right? Such a cute little thing. Now I know I normally give my spiders a bit bigger of an enclosure than we necessarily need. But I kind of like giving them room to move around and do things. Okay, this is the male ball 4-eye. And now that he's been disturbed, I doubt we'll get to see any of him. But it looks like he molted a few days ago, and if he's out wandering, he's definitely hungry. Let's give him a good-sized cricket here. Might get to see him over here. Nope, he's not going to come into the open. It's the drawback of burrowing species. That's why I don't keep hardly any. I'm not a big fan of critters you never get to see. That is also why I do not have any trapdoor spiders. Okay, let's get the camera set again. Now we're getting into dangerous critters. These are my African fat-tailed scorpions. No fingers go into these enclosures. But you do have to change your water dishes. Even desert species do need drinkable water. They don't use it often, but I'd rather it be there just in case they do need it. Let's go get my little syringe dropper here. And after this, I'm going to lift up the cork bark and check on this one. This is my androgynous bicolor. I get my black light, make sure I know exactly where it is. It's not good to take chances with things like this. There we go, my nice chubby little scorp. Oh boy, are you gravid? I think I got a wild caught one that's gravid. Oh boy, what am I going to do with a whole bunch of these babies? I can guarantee this thing's not going to eat. If it's gravid, it doesn't want to eat because it's gravid. If it's not gravid, it doesn't want to eat because it's chonky. Scorpions are kind of bad for their hunger strikes. So once again, another critter you kind of have to be patient with. And this is my other fat tail. This is Androgynous australis, I believe. Oh, there's the tag. Australis, yes. Believe it or not, graduate school and 20 years of keeping these things, even I still have trouble with the Latins. Okay, no sand in this dish at least, so I have to clean it out. And then let's take a look at this one and see how it's doing. Hello, angry little thing. Angry land lobster. You gotta make it easier to see. This one, whoa, sorry about that. Good thing they are armored. Once again, my shit hand. If you see the blue fang on it, it's my bad hand. Are you hungry? Of course that cricket's gonna play dead. There we go. Wow. You almost never refuse food. What the hell? Are you going on hunger strike now too? Do you want food? Do you want food? Food. No food for you. Oh, damn cricket. Okay, let's see if I can get this back in without dropping it again. Yay, I pulled it off. Okay, that's the end of one shelf. Now we get to go do my dresser shelf. And I need to make room because we got some big stuff coming on this shelf. Really big enclosures for really big foods. And critters that aren't exactly spoods. This means I gotta move a whole bunch of stuff out of the way. So pardon me while I move my things. Ooh, new enclosure set up for something coming in the mail. I'm doing an unboxing video in about 10 days. We sent off all of our baby curly hairs to Fear Not and just picked what we're getting in return. Oh boy, is it cool! So this is one thing I like about keeping bugs. Even though there's really big containers, they still never weigh more than about a pound or two, which is good when you have issues with your hands. Okay, are you going to be out today? Yes, you are. Oh no, don't be dead on camera. Oh no, guys, I think my centipede died. That's not good. Are you dead? Yeah, you are very dead. Oof. Well, that is my Scolopendrosos benipes, my Vietnamese centipede. Oh, that really blows. Well, you're going to get to answer a frequently asked question I get. About what do I do when I have an animal die? Well, get a jar. And where did these bottles get off to? Oof. Our bug room is an absolute mess right now. It's been too hot up here to clean for more than a few minutes at a time. That's vinegar. There we go. Ethyl alcohol. If you really know your stuff, you get 70%. Or you dilute it yourself with distilled water. Pardon my runny nose, allergies are really bad right now. Okay, now I gotta deal with my fear of dead things. If this drops on my hand, you're gonna hear me fucking scream. So we got a jar, got a centipede, bloop, and there you go. That is how you preserve a soft-bodied arthropod. This is how I do any spider or centipede, and a lot of scorpions as well, because if you try to just let them dry out, not only do they shrivel, the smell is just, oh, it's definitely dead body smell. Oh, and you died with a cricket in here. I know it didn't try to molt because it molted fairly recently. But yeah, there's my centipede. I'll have to remember to label that in a minute so I know what it is. Wow. That fucking blows. I had issues when we first moved here. We originally came from Florida, and I don't know if you know the humidity levels down there, but it's 100% day and night. Let's not knock my phone over. So I moved to upstate New York, and like it's a little lower humidity in the summer. It'd be usually around like 60%. But in the winter, when the heater kicks on, it burns off all the moisture. And we can keep maybe about 10% humidity in the bug room without the use of a humidifier. So if you hear that little hum in the background, that's the humidifier. But yeah, I lost all my centipedes all at once. It took me years to be certain of what went wrong and correct for it. So this is Visara. She is my almost mature Lasiodora parahybana. And she is an absolute package of a beast. She's pretty badass. So she had a frozen mouse recently that we didn't have anything else to feed it to. So I don't want to overfeed her. I'm just going to give her one cricket this week. Oh yeah. She never really hesitates. And while I've got a really big water dish for her, it is important to overflow it a little. Because again, lack of moisture in upstate New York, tropical species. I put about half a cup of water in the substrate every week, but she's a much larger enclosure with a ton of ventilation in comparison to my other ones. So yeah, most enclosures I'd never do that much. Wow, this table's going to look different without that big bin on it. Okay, let's put back these two that are empty for now. I'll give you a hint as to what they might be. They are arboreal setups with just a piece of corkbark and 2 inches of substrate at the bottom. So something that doesn't need decorations. Okay, this is my biggest versicolor. If it's hard to tell from this angle, the water dish is hot glued to the corkbark. They won't come down to the ground level for a water dish, but they will drink at the higher levels of their enclosure. There we go. It's about as on camera as you're going to get with most arboreals. It's very hard to film them. But I assure you, she is gorgeous. You can see the green and the purples and stuff from there. Next one is one of my personal favorites. This is my young Brazilian black Loki. Named Loki because she redecorates constantly. I always have to move shit every week. She'll do things like flip her water dish, fill it with dirt, and then bury it. Or she'll dig up all her plants and then move them somewhere else. Almost every week, this enclosure is just redecorated. But she's a sweetheart and she's gorgeous, so no harm done. Having trouble finding a big cricket. Bloop. There we go. Good girl. If you don't have a Brazilian black in your collection, you really should get one. There's a reason why they're a little pricey. It's because they're fucking awesome. One of the best species you can keep as a hobbyist. And I just got a text from my other half. Let me write her back. Okay, she knows about my centipede now. Okay, this is the last week I'm going to have this spider, I think. He is going to move in with a friend of mine. Let's see if I can tease him out of there at all. Here's a drinking straw in case he bites it. Hi. Oh, did you guys get to see that before he disappeared again? This is my male Megaphobema robustum. Yeah, he's not coming back out now. He's doing that weird threat posture where they spin around with their leg spikes up. This is such a weird species. Yeah, I got 2 of them, and then Rachel got one, hoping we'd both end up with girls. She got a girl, I got 2 boys. Almost forgot to water him. This guy won't keep a water dish, he just buries it. You can see the remains of it right there. I've stopped trying to unbury it, I just moisten the substrate every week. God, I do not know what is up with my allergies today. I'll be amazed if this one shows on camera, even though she's right up in the corner there. Another one of my younger versicolors. She's got an elevated water dish, but I've yet to see this one drink from it. That looks horrible on camera. At least if I hold it up high, it doesn't look like I'm jerking myself off or something stupid. If you look on the right side, you can see some feet moving around. So I've gotten a lot of questions about keeping pink toes after that video with, or the interview with Richard. And honestly, as long as you keep them moist and give them a ton of ventilation, they're a piece of cake. In fact, once I started using cross ventilation, when I have babies, I've yet to lose one in the last maybe 10 years. When I finish the dresser, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, hobby classic here, Canthoscuria geniculata. Hello, cutie. Of course you're hanging over your water dish. She will attack the water if I try to water this. Oh, don't kick hairs at me, you little turd burger. You are a little too chunk for me to feed you this week, I think. Let's just top off your water dish and overflow it. It is very bad to overfeed your spiders. So when they get to be that kind of size, like this one right here, I cut down my feedings to once a month and I shrink the food. They still need their vitamins and minerals and stuff like that. But, yeah, you don't want them putting on any extra weight. Okay, now we're into really dangerous territory. Watching my fingers here. This is my wandering spider. He's a mature male now. So I don't know if he's going to be visible on camera here because he likes that dark spot. But you can kind of make him out there. Let me get another light on him. There he is. So I screwed up the Latin name last time I had him on here. This is Cupienius salii. As long as he stays on that side, I've got another side I can open. Looks like he's good on water. I just want to get him a meal. Okay, both locks removed. Let's give him a mature male because I don't want to deal with this chirping anymore. So yeah, I've had this guy for about a year now, since he was really teeny, and I've yet to see him catch prey. He always waits until I'm done in here for the day. Once the light's back off, that's when he'll catch food. That said, he loves going for my fucking fingers. Okay, this is my other deadly friend. This is Phage, my Deathstalker scorpion. She's still really small. I think she's in pre-molt right now. What you guys think about the purple sand for a yellow scorpion? Definitely makes her easier to make out. I used to keep her on plain colored sand, and yeah, she was invisible sometimes. Which is not good when you've got something this deadly. Like, I want to know where that little fucker is. At all times. But yeah, she's definitely not going to eat. She hasn't eaten for me in about 2 months now. That's why I think she's getting pretty close to another molt. Okay, now I need to get a chair. Because this next part is going to be interesting. This is all my little baby things. Or anything that needs higher humidity. We keep them down by the floor. That way the humidity stays a little higher. Because it's the heat rises in this room. Shit, I'm really going to need some dubia babies here. It's going to be a pain in the ass to grab them out of, but I'm still going to need them, so might as well. They're not dubia babies, lateralis babies. Those aren't lateralis, those are hissers. There's lateralis. No, you don't. Jeez. Run away, roach. Got that bastard, though. Let's just go ahead and empty these of adults. If I don't remove the adults that I've caught, the babies will hide underneath them. Babies. Okay. So I got those, and I've got medium crickets for this shelf. It should cover everything, except for the stuff that doesn't eat prey. Which we'll see some of here at the beginning. Oopsie, dropped a molt. I'm going to use that one. Need to get off my ass and just pin it. Okay, this first one is not spiders. This is Isopods. These are my dairy cows. You can see they're quite plentiful. Once I add water, they're going to go nuts. And the normal food I give them is just tropical fish food. I want to try something new along with it this week and see how it does. I've been hearing people talk about Rapashi's Isopod Food. And it comes in this little bottle, powdered. And it says you can make it into a gelatin or just feed it as a powder. I'm going to try it just as a powder this week and see how it does. See if they end up eating it all. Try a little bit in 2 spots. So it's easy for me to tell if it's gone or not. But that's for isopods and other detrivores. So if I give them a minute here after the rainfall, we'll start to see little antennas coming out. I always like just watching these guys for a little bit. It's just really soothing. You see a tiny little baby over here. I don't know, I used to collect these when I was a little kid in my backyard and like bring them inside and keep them as long as I could because I was 2 years old and didn't know how to keep them alive at that point. But I've always wanted these to be keepable as pets. And I love that it's finally starting to pick up. That we're getting to where it's normal to keep isopods. So yeah, let me see if I can get kind of close here. Yeah, you can see there's a really big one on the log right here. It's about the size of my pinky nail. But yeah, I definitely need to get myself a macro camera because this is ridiculous. So yeah, my PayPal, if you want to donate to that camera fund, is Jade Skywalker at Gmail. Skye spelled just like Sky Spider, S-K-Y-E. It's a fun middle name. Makes me a Jedi. Okay, let's go ahead and call it on these. Put the lid. There we go. Oh, and you might not have seen it as I was sliding it up. That's how we know it's dairy cows. Porcello laevis is the Latin. Okay, now you can see that little molt up here. Any guess as to what's in here by the molt? Well, if it was actually in focus. This is why we do trial runs, kids. This is my recently acquired baby Theraphosa sturmii, who is a little piggy when it comes to eating. But unfortunately, it's very shy right now. I can't get it to come out of its hide ever. I'll go ahead and give it 2 medium crickets here. We're going to end up itchy from this, but I'll give you an idea of how big it is. This was the most recent molt. And if you don't know, it's going to be about the size of this container or a little bigger full grown. I was thinking I want to do a shadow box display of all the molts till full grown. Just to show off how much size they gain. Okay. I do not remember what this one is. Oh, Grammastola Hiringi. It's the one with the beautiful red abdomen. That are little monsters when it comes to eating. One of you get over here without me squishing you. Boop. There we go. Good job, cutie. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen this one refuse food. Like even when I was going to molt the next day. This is definitely one of the better eaters of this genus. So I've had it for about a year and a half or so. And no hunger strikes yet. Okay, this is an extra special one. Can you guess what it is? It's rubber duckies. So glad I finally have a group of these. Started with 11 about 6 months ago, and I'm already up to a few dozen. Now, these are really shy, and they're going to hide pretty quickly. But I can usually reveal them under here. Yep, there we go. There's a whole bunch of them right there. They're so freaking cool. Definitely among my favorites. Ah, runny nose, sorry. I'm gonna be gross. I just can't get it to stop. Okay, so first things first, we wet down just one side of this one. I give these guys one dry side as well. I'm going to do some flake food on the dry side and on the wet side. We might get one coming out to check it out. I do think I dropped some food on their antenna though and scared them. And then we're going to try this Rapashi stuff in here too. Putting it all on the moist sides, that way they're not just eating literal powder. I'm noticing as it absorbs the water, it starts to turn kind of green or blue. So I'll have to mix some of this up and see what it looks like. I see Springtails going nuts. Once again, you can't see without a better camera, unfortunately. I'll turn this light a little bit so it's not right on me. That's better. Here's my beloved duckies. Stray hair. It's never good to get a stray hair on your arm when you're working with bugs, because then you think you got something climbing on you. And of course I put it out of reach. Who does? Oh, these are a new type of isopod I picked up just to see what they're all about. These are the dwarf white isopods. Trichorina tomentosa. I don't think I've seen much of them since I put them in here. Oh, there's one. So they're still in here. Try to make my enclosures nice enough to where they can hide from even me if they want to. And this one's going to get the same food as the others, just a little less of it. Because I think there's only about a dozen in here. Should probably water their moss too while I'm in here. Got some pretty moss growing on one side. It's better if I just show you. Because I have no idea what that moss is called, because I didn't take botany. Yeah, figure that out. I managed to get through a graduate biology degree with never taking a botany class. I don't like plants very much. I'm just amazed they let me do that. Time for some tinies. This one always makes me really nervous. This is my orange fuzzy huntsman, Heteropoda David Bowie. There you go, camera. You can do it. It's on the side here. No, there you go. And it generally won't try to run when I open the lid, but a few times it has. It's gone into my shirt once. It's the joy of huntsman, right? When they want to go, they're going to go. Shit. Go down. Go down. Yeah, you tried to go on a little journey there, didn't you? I'm not even giving you food yet. Oops, Zoidberg's getting lonely. I hear him crying out there. It's my hairless cat, by the way. Boop. I'm not going to do that one on camera because I don't want that guy to get any ideas and start trucking it again. Let's see who's next here. Let's do my Ceratogyrus Marshallii. See if it wants to be visible. I usually see it once I put the food in. This is about a year old now. Pretty sure female. Oh, of course, the pricket went down in a burrow and got caught. You can kind of see the silhouette of the spider and the burrow on this side. I would water, but it's a little swampy at the base down here. I'm gonna let that one dry out this week. This one right here was a gift from a friend who bred these. It's Cereopagopus species Haiti. And it's still in that stage where it's a burrower, so I never get to see it. But it's easy enough to feed this way. Couple drops of water on the side. That's all that one needs. Next one's going to be another no-show because it's also in the burrowing stage. This is my Singapore Blue, Homothymus violasepis. Got it in one of these neat little mass-manufactured tarantula things that are new. They're okay. Like, if you don't have any good option for custom-made enclosures in your area, it's not bad. But if you have another option, I would use another option. Drop the first one. And we will fill the water dish and overflow it a tiny bit. Can't wait for that thing to be arboreal so I can finally look at it. They are pretty. Here's another one of my favorite babies. I can't wait to grow up. This is my Chilobrachus species, Electric Blue. Another one a friend got for me. I don't normally see her when I first open the lid, but she normally rushes out as soon as food's added. I can just catch the right size here. Alright, bloop. There she is. And there she's gone. That's it. That's all I see her every week. Once she's full grown, she'll go into a modified burrow enclosure I make. Like my really large one. My Fimbriatus female. Time to get a refill. Sorry if this takes me a minute down here. Try to be careful with small ones, since I'm prone to dropping things. Okay. Next one's a little bit of a weird enclosure. These are my Springtails. Very, very healthy colony, as you can see. I usually just give them a little fish food every week, but I'm going to try this Rapashi stuff for them. I think they're going to love it, since it's made for detrivores and all. Oh yeah, they're already crawling all over it. That is awesome. You can see I put a little right here. Normally they'll just eat whatever mold grows on whatever you give them. So just to be safe, I'm going to throw some fish flakes in here too. That's what they get most weeks. Either that or rice, or you can really give Springtails just about anything. And then these guys serve as really efficient cleanup crew in a lot of enclosures, just for keeping them mold free, especially the assassins. Assassins are so messy. Oh, and I've got all but one hole taped up, since this was for something else originally. I'm also using a darkened piece of Tupperware, just because I don't like light on those guys. It's not good for them. Okay, this is an odd enclosure because it's an odd spider. This is my very young Xenesthus intermedia. It doesn't want to use a wood hide for whatever reason, so I just gave it a little enclosure here. By the way, this is what I mean when I say, oh god, now I'm blanking on the frickin' term. The ventilation I use for pink toes. When I do a small enclosure like this, if you look, there's a series of holes along the bottom here that only go halfway around. And when they stop, there's another set of holes on the top here. And so you put these holes facing outward on your shelf. So the air will go in on the bottom, and because it can't get back out, it's going to hit the back here and go vertically. And it'll eventually escape up at the top here, but it recirculates the air at all levels of the enclosure. So that is how you keep pink toes alive. This thing is a shy eater, so we may not get to see it catch. Maybe it should go that way. Hold on. You're gonna eat on camera for me? It knows it's in trouble. Yeah, she's not gonna eat on camera. She gets spooked out by tweezers. There's the lid. Oh, yeah, that's where I put the other ones. I can remember where I put the other enclosures. Okay, here's a fun one. This is my Pamphibodius insignis. Big fan of this genus. In fact, I bought one the other day at my local pet shop and got it home, and I now don't know if I have what I thought I did or if I have a Xenesthus, because it is very easy to be either one. It's like one of the only Pamphos that doesn't get the abdomen stripes. Little pine tree there. And looks identical to a Xenesthus spiderling. The only trait that you can use to tell them apart is too small to see at the size it's at. So I just have to wait and find out. Because even with my fancy jeweler's loop with the light on it, my terrible eyes can't see it. I need a new prescription so bad. So, hobby classic here, Grammostola pulchripes. Keeps seeming to be only able to get males. Been through 4 males now. Yay! I like when they eat on camera. It's another one that trashes its water dish. I just stopped trying. After a while, why bother? This is another one, if you don't have this in your collection, why? Like, I've heard people say they're boring. I think they aren't. It's a spider you can pick up very easily. They're very, very friendly for tarantulas. Okay, time to grab another batch. Again, sorry it takes me so long to do this. Just not taking a chance on dropping any of these. Okay, so I'm going to feed that one I just mentioned for the first time today. This is my possible Pamphibodius antinus / Xenesthus species. And only time will tell which one I've got. Well, maybe if it eats aggressively, it might not be a Xenesthus. Yeah, that was more of a Pamphibodius feeding response. Either way, I can't wait for it to grow up. It's going to be gorgeous no matter what it is. It's either going to be jet black with blue femurs, or it's going to have a purple carapace and other cool colors. The common name listed was just whatever country it was, blue giant tarantula, which leads me to believe if it is a Xenestus, it might be Xenestus blue. But again, I can't know for sure. Love this little accidentally ordered magnetic enclosure. Rachel and I both thought that was going to be a lot bigger. But it works for this little guy. This is my Aphonopelma crinriform, the blue-fronted Aphonopelma. They have blue chelicerae, kind of like the blue fang skeletons. Yep. Also, this leaf is a little white. Worried that might be mold. Sorry to take your cover. I have to keep this stupid burrowing spider like this because it likes to dig burrows and then seal off the entrances completely to where it can't ever catch food. Now, don't take my husbandry here as gospel on these. I know I don't water my smaller spiders every week. That's because I water them quite a bit when I need to. So just in case it gets too dry up here, they're good for the week. And then I just kind of let them air out on their own over the next little while if they need to. So this is my Vicularia Purporia. I'm just making sure, see if it's molted. It still hasn't molted, but it looks like it's getting close. Just gonna water this one. I see her turning around in her web. And again, if you look at the holes on this, we've got the ones on the front at the bottom and on the back at the top, just like that other one I showed you. If you keep your Vicularias like that, you will have way less deaths. Now for a stack of cubes. The first one I think is going to live with someone else. These are one of my curly hairs from last year. It's the only one I still have left. I think Rachel still has a couple. But again, if you want me to have a nicer camera, PayPal. Or you can follow the link at the bottom for Patreon, all other kinds of things. There's lots of ways to contribute. You can buy my music on all the sites that it's on. Don't stream it on Spotify if you have another option. Spotify doesn't pay me shit. It takes like 1,000 plays to make a penny or something ridiculous like that. Sorry, I had to be gross again. So yeah, it takes like 1,000 plays to get a penny. I went from my music making a reasonable amount every year to I'm lucky if I get a single $20 check a year. That's what happened after Spotify came around. Okay, this is my Cirrocosmus Leetsai. I can usually see her when I come in to feed. She didn't eat last week, so I'm thinking she's in pre-molt. Or might have just molted. Let me look for her. There you are. Yep, you're still in pre-molt. You sexy little thing, you. You want to come out and be on camera a little? I have a super soft spot for these little dwarves. Nope, she doesn't want to come out. Not surprised. So yeah, I'm going to skip feeding her this week. Okay, so I just got an alert on my watch while I'm doing this. I've got Gmail set up on my phone with the Gmail app itself. And even though stuff goes to my spam filter, they still need to send me an alert about it. And like, I'll go check and it's in the spam folder. But you know, they just wanted to let me know I'm getting that spam. It's getting kind of annoying. They need to fix that. This is my little baby Cereocosmus elegans, new one. This one's still at that stage where I never get to see it. But they grow out of that, and it's totally worth the effort. Little heart butt spiders are one of the prettiest in the hobby, I think. Plus, this is a forever size enclosure. Like, it's never going to need bigger than this. I mean, you saw what my lead size in, and it's a full-grown female. Okay. Oh, you molted! Oh, you're getting pink! This is my Nandu tripepii. And you shredded the abdomen, so I can't sex you still. I'm leaning toward male because of how fast it's growing. But Nandus are pretty fast growers anyway. So who knows? Either way, I'm going to leave this one for a week before I feed. And the last one of these is Brachypelma albiceps. Another little teeny one. But still a good eater. God, this blurry camera is driving me crazy. You're supposed to be high def camera. Why you do this to me? We're going to get to see a catch. Do I really have to prod you over there? So this is a spider I can't seem to keep with a water dish. It just won't let it stay in here without being filled up with dirt. Treats him like a flower pot. There we go. We got a backflip. Awesome. Good job, cutie. Luckily with little ones, dishes are overrated. Still use them in most of them, but the vast majority just don't need them. Okay, now this is the big batch. Might take me a minute here. I mentioned we just had a hatch out of curly hairs. They're from a very special male of mine that I thought was a female initially. Just because he grew up so slow, and black ventral openings can be difficult to sex at times. But yeah, I was a little sad to see him mature and try to figure out what I was going to do, because I thought he was going to be with me another 20 years or so. And yeah, I was able to breed him. Bred with 2 females, 1 was successful. And I kept 15 of the babies. I'm going to be raising them up until I can figure out who's male and who's female, and then I'm going to keep 3 females. So it'll be kind of like he's still with me. So yeah, all of these are Phytocotyle albopilosum. They all need a very, very small roach today. My crappy hand can cooperate. You can see why I wanted a chair for these. And yeah, they're all, I can't really see that very well. They're all numbered, just so I know who's who. There you go. TA 1 through 15. Let's do number 6. I'm still not clear if it's Pelosum or Pelosus. I've seen both used, and even interchangeably by people who should know better. It's a fairly it's a fairly recent revision, so it's going to take some time before people get used to it. I think most of them are just having trouble pronouncing Quetzalcoatl. It's pronounced C-L-E-E-T, Quetzalcoatl. It's for anyone still having trouble with that one. This has been your once per video mandated pronunciation guide from Skye Spider. I saw the baby in the last one poke its head out for a little bit. Get back here, you little bastards. I know this isn't the most interesting thing with how bad the camera is. But yeah, if any of you are there in the chat room, feel free to throw up some questions now. It's a good time for me to answer them. This one's out in the open. Oh man. So the thing that makes the male so special to me is I had to do some work at a biology field station one summer. And it was really difficult getting accommodations worked out, and the school had been really bad about them all the time I was there. But on top of a few accommodations I needed for the schooling while I was there, they told me I could bring one spider with me. I used to have a service dog that I would take to stuff like this, but she passed away a few years before. And so I was like, cool, I'll just bring a spider, you know. It's an animal I can interact with, I can hold it, I can talk to it at night for days where I can't talk to people and I need to vent. And so out of all my spiders at the time, I picked Locks, my curly hair. He was a pretty decent size, and he was super docile. And while I was there, it is the single worst academic experience I've ever been through, and the biggest case of discrimination I've ever faced. Because they reneged on so many accommodations they approved. I was there 10 days, no, not 10 days. I still had sutures in me from an abdominal surgery. I think it was my hysterectomy. And I was on mandatory bed rest, but they had me hiking 10 to 15, sometimes 20 miles a day every day. And managed to tear all my sutures. And at the same time, they had a student fall down on day 2 and twist their knee. And they got carted around in a go-kart the whole 3 weeks. And were allowed to walk on crutches and all that good stuff. And here I am with my letters from my surgeon and just how much issues I was having with that. And the best bet was they gave me a folding chair to carry on the hikes so I could sit down. Wait, no, they didn't even give me one. I had to order it from Amazon and have it delivered to the field station. They approved my iPad for all assignments because I can't write. And then they asked me to start drawing things on paper. What the fuck? I never got a note taker for anything. I just had to hope hearing it once was enough for me to remember it. Just problem after problem, and it got to the point where I was having, 7 or 8 panic attacks a day. I was missing my favorite subjects to hang out in my cabin by myself and just rock back and forth and talk to Lox. And I'll be perfectly honest, I might not have survived that trip without him. He was literally a service spider for 3 weeks. So that's why I found out he was a male and knew he was going to be maturing in a year. I did everything I could to start finding mature females for him. So that way I could breed him myself here at the house. And then get to keep a little bit of Lox. And yeah, Fear Not has 200 and some of those babies. I have 5. I think Rachel has like 8 or 9 or so. Somewhere around there. But yeah, I've always loved curly hairs anyway, but this is even better. Oh hey, we can actually see that one killed one on camera. Very nice. It may have been blurry, but that was definitely a takedown. Yeah, I can't wait till I have a camera where you can actually see what I'm doing. Thought the lights were going to be enough. So yeah, that's the quick version of what I went through at the field station I worked at. I would name the school, but they have sued me. And I'm not allowed to talk about it with their name in it. They actually won the lawsuit that I filed because, believe it or not, the Americans with Disabilities Act, it only means that colleges have to approve a written sheet of accommodations. There's nothing in there that says they have to enforce it with the teachers. So if the teacher doesn't want to give me my accommodations, that's how that shook out, even though the federal government investigated the Office of Civil Rights Disability Office. Spent about a year and a half investigating them, I think it was, and found over 30 individual cases of discrimination against me specifically. Not against just other students, just me. And fortunately, the only teeth that had was the school was ordered to let me retake the classes again for free. Which doesn't do you much good when they still don't give you accommodations. And that is why I did not finish my master's degree. Which I was recruited by the school to do, that and my PhD. I got scooped on my graduate work because it took too long without accommodations, which is why someone else got to rename what is now Carabina versicolor, as well as all the other species of Vicularia that got renamed. You can hear a little bit about that on Richard's podcast, The Exotic Pet Collective. I went into it a little bit. I didn't want to bring the feel of that down. But yeah, it was a fucking mess. It almost completely destroyed my life, and I'm still extremely bitter several years later. Yeah, there's nothing good I can say about that. That's the quick version of the story. So I got one more thing to feed here, and it's going to be a little bit off camera for me in the little inset image down here. I am going to move the big camera, the one, there we go, pointing in the right direction, the one up that way. But yeah, I have to go to the other side of the table. This is an enclosure I can't move. So let's go ahead and get that moved. You can see this may look a little familiar. Little Ants Canada logo there. This is my colony of Carpenter Ants. I'm still very new to keeping ants, but I'm absolutely loving it so far. They've only recently been out of hibernation, or torpor, or any of those other terms for that. Yeah, let's look over here. There's the test tube with my queen and all of her workers. Oh shit, I think we got new workers. I'll take a closer look in a minute, but let's add some water over here to the hybrid nest, which they haven't moved into yet. And then I need to crush a cricket for them. Bloop. I think I fed them honey last time I was in here. Yeah, if you look over at the hybrid nest they haven't moved into yet, there's also an outworld over here for them to go forage in, which I haven't seen them use as much as I would like, so I don't put their food there yet. But yeah, here's the hybrid nest with a couple of tiny little roaches living in it now that they didn't catch. So yeah, there's our very extensive feeding tonight as I knock everything over on my way back. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And again, we'll be getting the nicer camera once I can afford it, whatever that is. Until I get that, I'm not really going to do another one of these, because these are just the testing streams to check out my other equipment. The lights are great. I like these. As you can see, they make a pretty big difference. That's just one off. There's the other off. See how much darker it is in here? So yeah, that's for this week. So don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, yeah, yada yada. I hate that you have to do a spiel at the end of them, but people forget. And I might even post this over on Twitch. It's something you can check out if you weren't able to make it live. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. And until then, be nice to bugs. I'm watching.